Hey everybody, Sander here. Happy Pride Month, first of all. I love Pride Month. I think a lot of the events, though, aren't happening this year either. I know the one Pride event that I know about that's happening around here, they had moved it back to fall just in case anyway. So our Pride Month is going to end up being more like October, I think, somewhere in there. But I'm somebody who adores Pride events. I've been going to Pride events the same year I came out, actually. I went to my first Pride event. I was there volunteering for the event and also volunteering for Marylanders for Marriage Equality. I was actually very active in the campaign to get gay marriage legalized here in Maryland, which was 2012. I mean, it's a while ago. It was before the rest of the country in 2015. I've always just been someone who just loves going and getting loud and proud and putting on as much rainbow gear as possible and just having a good time. So I hope that out there somewhere there's some celebrations going on and that you guys can celebrate in some way or another and be nice and proud and have fun. But I wanted to do a video on people who come out later in life. I never felt like I came out late in life, really. I never really felt that way until I met this guy. I had to be in the hospital recently, bipolar, fun times. So I was in this hospital, and there was this guy there who's gay, and there was also a bi chick there too. We were hanging out and talking about our sexuality and gender and stuff like that. And he said he'd always known that he was gay to the point where he was out in high school and actually brought his boyfriend to the prom with him and was just really out. And so we were just kind of discussing things like that. And he could not believe it when I told him that I didn't even think about the fact that I was lesbian or gender fluid until I was 18 and then 21 with my gender. It was 6 years ago now, actually, of June of when I first started thinking about my gender seriously and realizing I'm not cis. And it's only been 6 years since I've been out, which in one way feels like it's been a long time, and in another way feels like I've barely been out. But anyway, we were talking about it, and he was just like, "Man, I can't believe you didn't know. Like, how did you not know?" And it got me thinking because I've seen a lot of stuff like that on Instagram and other things where people that didn't come out until they were adults, basically, um, they get a lot of flack from everybody, really. And it's like some people don't get how people don't realize who they are early on. I mean, when I look back at my life, it is painfully obvious that I have always been a lesbian and I have always been gender fluid. This has always been who I am, but it didn't hit me like it does some people. I mean, some people, I knew a trans guy who said he knew since he was 3 that he was trans. And, I go on Instagram, which is my gay place, because that's where I follow all the gay stuff. And there are kids for these admin roles on these pages on Instagram that say they're 14, 15, 16 years old. I've been to Pride events. There was one I went to years ago, and there was a 5-year-old handing out transgender stickers and had a button that said, "My pronouns are they, them." And another Pride event, there were these two girls running around wearing pride flags like capes and shirts that said, "Proud to be bi, proud to be lesbian." And they were no more than 12. And so for me, not realizing until I was, well, I officially came out as lesbian when I was like 18, but I was 17 when I met the first girl that I ever loved and will always love, and had first kissed a girl and all that kind of stuff. I was 17. And at first thought I was bi. Then I came out as lesbian when I was 18. And I tried to explain to people, and I tried to explain to this guy I met, like, some people, it's the way that they grew up, it's the way they were raised, it's the time that they grew up in. And for me, the LGBTQ community was never part of my life. I mean, I knew that there were transgender people. I knew that there were gay people and lesbian people. I knew that. But my family's pretty conservative, and we're all Christian. I am a Christian as well. But you know, once I got to high school, I was in high school with only 20 kids total. It was a Christian high school. Most of the people there were Mormon, and uh, I had one or two gay friends through the theater, and that was it. And I'm growing up in this environment where all of the people that are my age that are female, which obviously I thought I was, they were getting boyfriends and like dressing all girly and starting to get their nails done and makeup and wearing dresses and trying to be all feminine and go for all the cute boys. And so being around that, being around my parents and stuff who didn't really know much about the LGBTQ community, and even admitted if I weren't part of the community, they'd probably not be supportive of the community. And so I just got trapped in this box of thinking I need to be like the other girls. I need to get a boyfriend, which I did. And I grew out my hair and I started getting my nails done. And I started wearing dresses and skirts and things when it was my senior year of high school, as well as my freshman year of college. And trying really hard anytime a guy walked by, making a comment about, oh, he's got a nice butt or whatever. Oh, he's handsome, even though it was just forced. It was like I was always desperately looking at men, trying to find them attractive. And I remember the first time I ever considered what would it be like to be with a girl. I was probably 16, I would guess. And I remember liking the thought of being with a girl way too much. And I freaked out and I thought, well, it's just a fantasy or whatever. And I completely wrote it off. And so, and then, just things like watching Buffy when suddenly the character of Willow got with a girl. I freaked out because I was like, oh my God, how could she possibly be with a girl? She was with a guy before, and you can't just change like that. You can't just suddenly be with a girl. That's just wrong. And I was supportive of gay guys, but lesbians always kind of made me uncomfortable. And I remember when we had a model come in for my art class and as a freshman, and she was completely naked and was doing these poses, and I didn't want to look at her. And it's like anytime I did, it was I liked it a little too much, I think, and it scared me. And so I just pushed down any chance that I could ever like girls. And the same went for my gender as well. I mean, like, I wrote it off as I like to play guys on stage, and I'm just a tomboy. And it didn't even click with me that I could possibly not be cis. That was kind of a shock to my system 6 years ago when I got hit with this feeling. And then I remembered mostly like when I was really little, when I was in elementary school, how uncomfortable I was in my body. And as I got older, how I just kind of shoved that down and shoved that down to the point where I didn't even think about it anymore. I expressed it in theater. That's where I kind of started putting on, literally, I played male characters all the time in theater and was the first to volunteer to do so. And I loved that opportunity. So that's kind of how I, as a teenager, got that vibe and just figured, oh, I just like the challenge of being an actor playing a different gender or whatever. And so that's what I'm saying with some of these people that come out when they're older is they're in that same situation I'm in of their family and their peers and that sort of thing. Like you get stuck thinking you have to be a certain way and you don't even know there's another option. And then when you do come out, like you get it's a phase. Why didn't you think of this before? You just to come out when you're this old, you're just going with the curve. It's a midlife crisis. There's a lot of crap that gets thrown at people that come out when they're older. And I'm here to say that you're valid. If you didn't figure things out until you were older, I've heard of people in their 60s that suddenly realize that their marriage has never worked because this whole time they've been lesbian and they've just been forcing themselves to be with men because that's what you do in that time period or whatever. So, I mean, I have the utmost respect for LGBTQ youth. I don't know if I could have handled it if I knew earlier. because the bullying, especially when it's equally like if you're out, you get teased. If you're in, you feel like you're suffocating. I know when I had to be in the closet when I first figured out my gender for a couple months, I was deep in the closet. I felt like I was dying every day, like I was lying to my family and that I couldn't be myself and that I was just trapped in my basement bedroom, not able to even breathe. And so, I mean, LBC youth, you're teased, and it leads to so much suicide and self-harm and addiction and horrible things because it's so hard to be young and LGBTQ. So I have the utmost respect for the youth that have this, and I'm here to say you're valid as well, and you're wonderful, and I respect you so much, and I think you're amazing. But at the same time, for those of you that are out older, I have the same respect for you. And just because it took you 3, 4 times longer to figure out who you are than some of these younger people, that doesn't make you any less LGBTQ. And I think this Pride Month, people should know that. Age doesn't matter. Age has nothing to do with identity. Sometimes some of us are slower learners than others, and are just in different situations. Like me, who was just didn't even occur until literally I had to move out of my house. I went to college 8 hours away from here in a place where nobody knew me. And that's how I found myself, is I got away from this suffocating environment that I was in. And so sometimes that's kind of what happens. You got to start fresh to figure things out. And I'm very proud to be who I am and to be where I am, even though I'm relatively new to the scene compared to some of these people that have known their entire lives. So, this Pride Month, be proud to be who you are. And remember, age has nothing to do with anything. You are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are valid, and you are who you are. Thank you for being part of this community. I love all y'all. Think you're amazing. I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to be able to do soon. I got a new job and I'm actually finally pursuing acting and my writing and things like that while I am working as this delivery driver for a sandwich shop. So I'm trying to get a career kind of going. So don't know how much time I'm going to have left, but I wanted to do a Pride video for Pride Month to at least make sure I got that out. So enjoy Pride Month and just keep being yourself because you're amazing. You really, really are. So hang in there. Catch you later.